Hi. Hello. Hi, Alex.
Hey.
How are you? Thank you for taking the time to interview
Yeah,
with us.
thank you. Yeah. Yeah, appreciate
Uh, what time is it over there?
it. 8:40
8:40
at
p.m.
night.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you for taking the time. We really appreciate it. So hello, Alex, and welcome to the show. Welcome to the Monster.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, for those of you don't know, Alex Dugan of Culture Wars. So, Alex, we heard you just had a baby. I actually saw on your Instagram you had a baby. George William is the name, with your wife
Yeah, George,
Sophie.
yeah.
So, congratulations. Well,
Thank you.
how has having a baby changed the rock star life for you? You know, you've been at it for a few years now, so I'm just curious, like, how has that changed anything?
Um, I think it's really just more an addition, It's Sophie and I are really obviously excited to have him, and we have she's very supportive and very great with all that, and we're taking a good chunk of time right now, a couple, a handful of months to just be together and kind of stop everything for a little bit and be with him. So but it's definitely changes your life, and you definitely have to think a couple steps ahead and all that. But he's a funny little guy. He's only 2 weeks old, and he's figuring it out, but he's fun.
Would you say he takes more after you or Sophie?
He probably looks more like her, but he probably acts more like me with all the crying and stomach issues. Well,
Ah. Oh man. Well, the band itself, aside from, you having a baby, the band itself has also had a pretty big year in 2025. You know, you got sold out shows throughout the US. You're touring with Lainey, The Script, Maroon 5. What's been a career highlight for you specifically? Like, what's one thing that you were like, okay, this is one thing that I'm keeping in the memory banks forever?
I mean, I repeat it a lot, but really, it's like the Philippine Arena has always been
Really?
like the crystal on top of the whole thing. Kind of, I think that show, um, there was just something very specific and special about it, and I think also, everyone was just very excited for Lainey, obviously, and so we kind of, you know, helped, rev up that energy, I guess, in the beginning, but everyone was very excited, and so it made for a very fun show and audience and all that kind of stuff. But it changed the band, profoundly, really. I mean, it changed everything that we do. We reference it now when we're like in the new song in the morning. We reference that as the notes for mixing it when Caleb was doing it. I told him, I was like, make it sound like the Philippine Arena, and that then changed the sound of the rest of the album. We went back and we remixed the entire album. So to fall into that. So that's always been like a huge moment. And then also just as a band, it was like, God, this is it. This is where you want to be. Like we can do this. Let's keep working. It all felt within reach for a second.
Wow, so not it wasn't just the audience, it was even like the audio of the Philippine Arena that affected you guys. That
Yeah, just the atmosphere and the sound. The sound's very good in there for a venue of that size because a lot of venues, stadiums or whatever, they don't sound very good because they're not made, they're made for sports.
right.
And that's not really the case there. So, the sound was cool and everything, but it was also just like the atmosphere and like the electricity, and like this is like, very much this is where we want to be. And I've rewatched, everyone who posted an iPhone video on Instagram and tagged us. I saved most of them. I've, rewatched, so I definitely know what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Um, but it felt very much like, oh, okay, this is what we're supposed to be doing, and this is what we want to achieve, and so yeah, it influenced a lot. Yeah.
All right, so to all the monsters out there who took videos of their performance at the Philippine Arena, Alex might have saved one of your videos.
Probably did.
Yeah. All
Unless it
right.
was a bad video. I can't control that. No bad videos.
Yeah. All right. So you did mention that you recently dropped in the morning, and it was released as a special fan track. So can you talk about the process of deciding to release it that way as a fan track?
Yeah, I think for us, we want to we love that song, and we thought we we love it. We wanted the fans to have it before. We wanted it to help set up the album. So much was going on with Typical Ways and Bittersweet at the same time. It didn't necessarily make sense to like push a single, if that makes sense, but it felt right, and it felt in the conversation of everything. And it felt like if you were listening to Bittersweet or Typical Ways, and then you got that one, it just kind of continued that conversation, and it paid off obviously because that streamed uh, the fastest of any song we've released, and I think that speaks to obviously the song, but just the continuation of what we've been building by releasing these songs one after the other, and trying to build that story with everybody that's listening.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I've heard it. I really enjoyed it. So I'm glad that, the other fans are enjoying it too. And yeah, we're keeping up the streaming numbers. So yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the song itself? So you also wrote the lyrics to In the Morning. And the song talks about, being lonely, but holding out for a specific person. Correct me if I'm wrong at any time, if I'm way off base, but
Something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
all right. Was there any experience or a specific story that kind of inspired that the lyrics for the song?
Yeah, it's just really just like, it reminded me of like being back in college, and you wake up hungover and by yourself in bed, and you feel lonely, and you're thinking about, what could have been or what could be. And to me it's just about not being a teenager, but being like a young adult, and kind of not knowing how to control your own thoughts and feelings and things. So it felt very like um interesting for me to kind of revisit that.
Mm. Yeah, no, I definitely feel the sort of the youth, the and
Yeah.
the kind of commentary on it, especially in not just the lyrics but also the music video. There's kind of a
Mm.
commentary on the music in the music video about like hookup culture. That based on what I saw, that's what kind of landed on me. It kind of has a commentary on hookup culture. So, what was the process behind the making of that video? Like, what was the story that you guys wanted to tell when making it?
I think, well, I mean, everything with that video is all, Elliot Lee, our guy. So, all of it's really to him. But I think for us, it's a song about being lonely, and we wanted visuals that complemented just the feeling of being the loneliest person on earth, so to speak. So, um, I think Elliot nailed it, again, and but that's really all him, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I also noticed in the video that you guys didn't really shy away from showing some queer couples in the video. Was that something that you guys discussed at all? Was there any pushback?
No, I think for us it wasn't really anything other than just hire. I mean, for us we don't really like have any preconceived anything. I just tell Elliot, he goes, "Well, what do you want?" I said, "Just hire everybody and just fill the room," kind of thing. And so we weren't necessarily like picking or choosing. We just weren't filtering, if that makes sense. It wasn't like we need to get one of each kind of. It wasn't that. It was just get a bunch of people, and whatever they do, whatever. So we weren't. It didn't really. It certainly wasn't premeditated. There were people. There's certainly. I mean, the internet's full of dummies, but there's a lot of people like, getting all up in arms, like thinking we were trying to push something on them. I'm like, we just hired a bunch of people to be people. I don't just calm down. Not everything is a statement. It's just people like to make out with each other. Let them do it. I mean, it's funny. It's because a lot of the people that were there that we hired were actually upset that they couldn't make out with
With the
other
other
people.
people?
They brought their couple, and they thought they'd be switching around, and they got pissed.
Ah,
They were like, "Oh, what the hell?"
we
Oh
love it.
well.
We love the energy. All right. Um, Now, talking about your upcoming album, if not now, when? It comes out this year, 2026.
Yep.
Do you guys plan on releasing any more singles as teasers? Maybe more fan tracks, or is that it? Is In the Morning gonna be?
No, it's that's the last one, and
Mm.
it's the final piece of it before we drop the whole thing. So we're just gearing up and finalizing plans for that right now. And so that'll be early this year, with a accompanying world tour of our own.
Great. Wow. Okay. So does that mean we're gonna see you here back here soon?
Yeah, yeah, this year. Yeah, that's the plan.
Love it. So, what are you guys most excited for the fans to hear in this album? You were talking about like continuing the story, continuing the narrative with In the Morning. So, like, what are you excited for them to hear now, when it's fully released?
Well, I mean, the whole album being remixed is going to be interesting because, people get attached to things, but it's very small tweaks, honestly. I mean, I don't know that everyone would catch it, to be honest. We do, but the whole album is going to sound fresh, which is interesting because then you get to kind of revisit it all together. But some people probably won't even notice it, but that's fine. I like that. But so there's that, and then also, the lead single off the album that's coming with it. We just did a video for it before George was born and all that. So um, we're really excited about that song. We had a heater waiting, kind of waiting to go. So it's not like the last single that we're like, okay, here you go. No, it's like it's to us one of the top songs that will be on the album. So we're excited to keep swinging, and showing everybody what we've got, and then we'll just see what happens after that.
Nice. I'm excited. I've been listening to some of your other songs too, and I just want to say, like, I want to appreciate your voice. Sounds so healthy. Even when you
Thank you.
even when you hit those high notes, like in typical ways. And I just have an appreciation for that as someone who tries to sing. But do you
I
have any?
appreciate it.
But do you have any like techniques for hitting high notes, or any singing tricks that you do without sounding strained?
Yeah, I mean, I have a very good vocal coach that even when we're on tour, we like FaceTime and like warm up and like do everything together. So there's never kind of an off moment. But within that, a newer thing that I've kind of adopted with him that I think people have noticed because it comes up in like the typical ways video and stuff like that, but kind of relaxing, everything in your throat and in your tongue. And if you have like a relaxed tongue means a relaxed, vocal cord. And so it looks a little goofy sometimes, but
Yeah.
that's how, we wanted to achieve consistency so that I could hit the top of typical ways essentially in heaven, things like that every night and not, strain or have any, because it's a muscle, and it's like if you pull a weight and you jerk it, it's not gonna, but if you can just slowly pull it, right, you'll be able to do it. So if you think about it in that kind of a way, it's more about just like hitting the note as opposed to pushing through it.
Yeah.
And so if I'm able to relax my tongue and relax my jaw and so forth and not, just let it happen, it's a lot easier. But it kind of, you're essentially just trying to get your tongue out of the way. But sometimes it can look like I'm like,
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
but when I'm still hitting the note and I'm 60 something, then everyone can, you know, eat their
Yeah.
words at that point.
You mentioned Heaven. Is that like a particular song where you're like, okay, I'm gonna sing Heaven. I have to like mentally, vocally really prepare for that one.
Yeah, that and typical ways. I think typical ways especially, that's the hard one to do, frankly, and so as much as I love that song, every time it comes up, I'm like, okay, it's like it becomes it takes a little bit more focus, whereas the other songs I can like interact with everybody and like move around. And with typical ways, I'm like, I am standing right here and I'm going to hit these notes because there's nothing worse than
Yeah.
going than your voice cutting out. So, but it's tough when you're, on the fifth show in the same week and you're trying to, go, Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's what I get for writing it.
Yeah.
Should write easier things.
I did this to myself. Yeah, I got to do it.
And then
All right. So with this new album coming out and yeah, you being a new dad, are there any challenges that you're worried about? Anything that you're kind of looking forward to facing in 2026?
Um, I think it's always, hard to be away from home, but of course it'll be hard to be away from home, now. But I think we've gotten very lucky because we got such a big break in our career, by being able to open these really big shows, and it's in turn opened the doors for us. And so now we're able to do our own shows and do our own tour, and because of that, we can set our own schedule, which makes that a lot easier with having a kid at home. So luckily, it's all kind of happened in stride where we can set that schedule. So I'm very appreciative that it's happened. But it's not going to stop us from doing what we need to do, and we just fortunately get to say, when you're opening for people, they go, "Here's our schedule. You're either doing it or not," and this is us doing the reverse. So we're it's if we ever have a problem with it, we did it to ourselves.
No, that's great. Having to the freedom and the power to set your own schedules. All right.
Yeah.
So, do we have like any specific dates yet of when you guys are going to be coming back here to the Philippines?
Specific, no. It's my agent is wrapping it up, and then we're gonna announce soon. But it's all being put together. We're gonna start rolling it out, but it's a full world tour going everywhere, including the Philippines. It's just we're gonna kind of do it in pieces as it, and also give each, chunk of the tour its own kind of moment and focus.
All right. So, well, with that, knowing that you guys are going to be coming back here, can we have a little message for all of the Filipino fans, all of the monsters tuning in right now and listening?
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Okay, monsters, you can check out their website, culturewars.io, for all the links to their socials. Thank you so much, Alex Dugan. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for taking the time and for answering my weird questions about your singing.
That wasn't that weird. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much. And we will see you soon. We hope that maybe when you come here to the Philippines during your tour, you can come by here to the studio and we can
Yeah.
actually talk in person. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alex. All right.
Thank you.